we are part of the Open City group in Valparaiso, in Chile, and we are work here in Documenta to build this paper pavilion that describe all our poetic act from the beginning of the Open City until the act that we had made here in Athens. And in particularly about this material for the library, the material is a set of cards to play a game, and that game also is a poetic act, and that the principle is the idea that we can do the poetic with all. It's a proposal by Le Comte de Lautréamont. C'est un poète français, and he said that the poetry must do with all, and not by one. That's the idea. Each image, the idea that is the person can read this image and give us a word or an idea, but with words, and then if we play with other people or in the street or everywhere, you can ask for everyone. Doesn't matter if know the question, but the idea is that this image inspire the people to say a word, and then the poet he mix all the words and makes some connective to do a poem, and that poem is, we say, recollect or unit all the word that people have said.
The process that Flora was describing is written in the exhibition. So there are two acts. The act of the School of Architecture and Design describes this drawing, and the act of the community describes the other drawing. And these were huge. They were actual costumes that we reduced them into this card game. So we have also this kind of oracle, which is a way of randomly getting a word. So we played in different ways. First is, for instance, say the opposite word of what you can imagine. So what happens during the game is that we relate in an act people of the place itself, and we try to capture the imagination of participants in the way that there is a poem that can be weaved at the end. So all what is presented in the exhibition follows this rule that we made an act, and from there we draw relationships and we feed with content the actual exhibition. So the material of the work, it's the act, the union of the place and the people that happen to be celebrating in a way, or making appear what is we could say, the spirit of the place, or maybe answering a question we want to unveil. Like, for instance, in the case of this exhibition was going back to the origin, and the question was, what was the sign of the origin? And that is why we play with this kind of signs which follow this 9-point structure that also structures the whole exhibition because there are 9 parts, 9 detentions for the reader, etc.
En el fondo contamos con pocos materiales, mínimos materiales, tinta, papel, cables, hilos. Si uno mira esto, se da cuenta que todo lo expuesto es muy leve, es casi etéreo o inmaterial, como si no quisiéramos construir lo inmaterial, de alguna manera. Entonces, todo el trabajo nuestro, el trabajo colectivo, también es un material, el pensamiento colectivo también es un material con el que estamos tratando de no anticipar nada, no predeterminar nada, pero también tener un cálculo.
These cards that allows play this poetic game is the base of our work for Documenta, and primary is a dialogue between architecture, design, and poetry. In this sense, a collective poetry made in acts, in poetic public spaces, do it collectively, and I think that our work is not projected in our country and executed in the place. We arrive without ideas, just the name, Paper Pavilion, and we had materials, tools, and people, but at the same time, card games. So we start playing in the place this poetic game, and that fact that allows the present time, the present place, present people is the main material finally, here and now, and the construction finally, our pavilion, gives or takes form intermediated by the poetry.